Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. I'm your host, your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger, helping you whip your business into shape. Today, I have with me Robert Sacco, and he is the co-founder of Myflex AI, also known as RUBI, R-U-B-I. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way I do, but in the past year or so, this whole AI thing has blown up and you probably feel slightly overwhelmed. So when I was introduced to RUBI AI, I immediately was like, all right, let's check this out. Let's do this. And I got introduced to Robert, who is the co-founder. So Robert, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
Oh, let me tell you, I remember when I first started hearing about AI, I was on the Marketer's Cruise in January of 2023. And I swear to God, every 17 seconds, somebody was saying ChatGPT or AI. Like it just was all the things, right? Over and over and over again. And I was like, what? People are like obsessed. It's just released this 4 weeks ago. What the heck?
Yeah. ChatGPT just blew up so fast. You think about it, you have over 100 million people every single day going and using this item. And so it's been incredible to see how fast, but I think it's really forced the conversation now into the marketplace for the masses. And I think that's awesome because it does make people move a lot more productive and be more efficient.
Yeah. And our artificial intelligence has been around for a while. It's just most of us didn't know about it, right? And artificial intelligence it hit its tipping point, right? So what made you want to jump into the field with RUBI?
Yeah. So just like you said, it's been out for a long time. I own a software development company. And so we've been using AI for a lot of things in our business for a while. And in 2021, we just decided, you know what, this is starting to get to the point where if you don't use it, then you're really kind of like behind the times. Especially when we're in the, development stages where, AI can do so much pre-work going in so that it cut down on so many hours that we were having to spend in developer times. And so we just wanted to see the benefits of that. And then, of course, in 2022 and 2023, this thing has exploded with ChatGPT getting into the public to see how easy it can be. And what we did notice with that, too, is like a lot of people have, you have to know how to prompt to get the right, most accurate information. And you have to be careful, and people don't, need to understand it. But they also know, we know, just being in the software industry, if you make it too difficult, they won't do it. They'll just, run away. And so our whole goal was for RUBI to make it for the masses so it was easy. You didn't have to learn how to become a prompt engineer. You didn't need to know anything about LLMs and NLPs and all this other stuff. You didn't need to know any of that. All you had to do is just go in and say, I want to make a marketing plan. You click on a little module and you put in the description of your company and it's done. Like that's how we wanted to get to the point where everybody could have the benefits of it that we were having, but to do it with no experience needed at all. And that's what RUBI really is about.
That is fantastic. I mean, what impressed me with it was, so our mutual friend, Chris Booth, is the one who reached out to me because he knows that I'm one of the names in the world of network marketing, that if you got something new, you talk to Jennie about it, And when he showed me what RUBI could do, he started where he thought I would be most impressed. And what was funny was what impressed me the most was the fact that it wasn't just for business, but the it hits all areas of life, because this is not just AI that is business driven, but I could literally have RUBI do my meal planning for me.
Yeah, it's actually one of our biggest used modules is you need a multi-day meal plan with a shopping list and what grocery stores to go get your stuff from, right? So one of the things that was really important for us at the beginning was not to pigeonhole our business into a very specific niche. And that's what this industry has come to. Like everybody's coming out with a new thing every single day that does one specific thing. And pretty soon, if you want to get the most of AI, you have 22 different subscriptions and you have no workflow. Your creative workflow is completely broken. And so how, my background's coming from ad agency world of how do I keep everything in a creative workflow working and productive so that's enhancing the benefits of it. And that was just our biggest piece is like, no, we want you to come home. When you come to RUBI, you stay at RUBI and everything's done here. And then you take it to market, with a single click. That's the, whole big picture for RUBI and where it's going and how it's going to, change what we call the blue ocean. Like we just don't want to compete with everybody else. We just want to go carve out our own section. And that's, what we're doing.
That is so super cool because it really, in the introduction, when I said it felt overwhelming, a lot of it really did with all the different things that were being thrown in my direction with all the different things. Now, another thing that I think is cool about RUBI is the fact that you guys didn't just create this very useful tool for, and I'm going to say it for moms, because let me tell you, the fact that the meal planning is done, one less decision for us to do, it just go in and say, here's what my family will eat. Here's what my family won't eat. Boom. Please create a meal plan for me this week. Like that right there, brilliant. Absolutely wonderful. But the other cool thing about this is the fact that you've built in a component, a network marketing component with it too, because it's not just, like many of the other ones that are out there, which is just, you're just a customer. That's it. But if you love this, you can share it with others, which I think is fantastic because word of mouth is the best way to get fabulous products out into the market like this. What made you decide to take a network marketing route to get RUBI out into the world?
Yeah, so it's literally a choice. We were developing this product to go to market. It wasn't a decision to really go into network marketing with it until just really 3 months before we were finished and ready to go to market, mainly because of two reasons. One, to make the masses be able to adopt into a new technology that, number one, scares half the people.
Yeah.
And the other part of them is just so complicated, they don't think they can even do it. And so to break that wall down, number one, to have someone that they know say, hey, this is what it's doing for me. And like, look how easy it is. And to show and demonstrate it way surpassed us trying to go into the social media world and just digital market this thing to death. And so we just definitely wanted to have that sharing capability. And then the second part of it was that we have the ability to do a lot of training inside of this model. I've been in this industry for 20 years, but it wasn't really my first choice to take it to market. It wasn't my thought process. It was just that I know that we can do amazing training. And so I can have a lot more people, walk people through. And this is what I do now. When people learn how to use this, they love it. It's like they use it for everything. There's so many people in this world that haven't gone out and done everything that they're able to do in this world because they have a hang up about they can't write or they don't think they have great grammar and it holds them back from doing marketing or doing anything. And it's so funny that you hear people today, like, they write me a message and they're like, I actually use RUBI to write it. It's like, these are the things that are happening every day because they just make it a part of their life. And the other part about it is that we really wanted the ability to say, anybody around the world, you have a chance to make a business now on the hottest technology ever to touch this planet. It's going to change everything about it. So you're going to use it. You're going to get adopted to it. You might as well share it and make some money on it and be part of it. And that's what we've done. And it's a great model.
Yeah. And one thing that shocked me, because normally other businesses do this kind of the other way around, which is if you decide to become a part of the affiliate program, there's more expenses. With RUBI, we actually save money by being part of the affiliate program. Like it is cheaper for me. Like that's what sold me. I was like, wait, I can save money by actually choosing to be an affiliate with this instead of like I can pay more to be a customer or pay less to be a part of the family. No
Yeah.
brainer.
So when you talk about price points in general, one of the things that just being in this industry in a long time, being around it for a long time, is I wanted to something that was completely shocking, and that is to come in below market prices.
Yeah.
We're way on the underside of value on our price points uh, compared to the real world. And so most network marketing companies have a higher price product because they have to pay commissions and all that. And so we actually are under the value of the products out in retail. So you save money coming in there, you have a way to make money, and it holds really strong retention. And that's what this whole game's about, is to get somebody in. If you want to build a long-term business, you got to have retention.
Yeah.
And this is the way that we're doing it. And yes, we want people to be a distributor because they can share it. But those who just want to be a customer, they don't want to be, part of the network. We have a great customer program that they can be a part of, and they get the same ability to learn and be trained and everything else. They just, they just don't ever get bombarded with the business part.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's an incredibly brilliant way to get people in, right? And the retention piece is absolutely a part of business that a lot of people don't think about, right? Which is yes, lots of people think about the got to get new customers, got to get new customers, got to get new customers. But if all you're ever doing is getting new and not retaining the ones you have, you will never grow.
That's an exhausting churn right there. Just like the constant battle of place and replace. And, I've just been in this industry a long time and built big organizations, and we've been able to do really well in retention by picking the right companies with good products. But it's always a constant battle of replace and replace. So to have a digital product that's at a price point that people can afford, number one, comfortably. Two, they're getting immense value, because if they just save a couple hours a month doing anything, they already are way ahead. And then a tool that builds other businesses. So it's building their other businesses while they're actually making money in this business. It really is no reason for someone to leave unless we just make a big mistake. And I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, no, it's so far I've been very, very impressed, which, my badass crew, they know that I don't promote something unless I use it myself, right? I'm not putting out stuff just because you have not paid to be here. You are like, this is not sponsored. This is me reaching out going, holy crap, this is amazing. I want to talk to the founder, and we got connected. Right. So with all of this, I want to point out, in case people missed that when you were saying this, which is they can save time, because one of the things we talk about a lot in network marketing is you can build a really amazing business with just a little bit of time. And I used to, pre-AI, talk about building a business in 15 minutes a day. Just reach out, do some messages, do some posts, connect with other human beings, et cetera, et cetera. My gosh, you could do a business in 5 minutes or less using something like RUBI with AI, because you're able to create so much more content in a short period of time.
Yeah. Well, I think there's two things to that. And I think that saving time is big for everybody. I mean, one of the things that we talk about is like, there's very few places in life that you can buy your time. And this is one of them. And it didn't resonate for a lot of people at the very beginning until they got their hands on it. And they're like, oh my gosh, it took me 4 hours to do this, stuff for my business, for social media, or it took me 2 weeks with my SEO. I'm doing it in hours. I'm doing it in like minutes. And so it's totally changed. I mean, they can go spend their time doing more important things, spending it with their family, or, spending it with their customers, spending it to be growing the business instead of just maintaining and going through that process. And so it's been a really interesting to see how people have used it and how it's changed their entire business flow. I mean, we have people that their whole business have changed because of the way they use RUBI.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to share with the audience what I've done using AI has really massively shifted things for me. For example, one of the things I've used AI for in RUBI is to be able to go in and say, hey, can you create 30 video prompts so that I can go live? I'm not having it create the whole script, because I know if you just give me a prompt, because I am ADHD. So sometimes I get overwhelmed by all the things I could talk about. But if you give me 30 prompts and I go, ooh, I like that one, I'm going to do that one right now. Like, I can go turn on my favorite social media channel, TikTok, Facebook, Insta, whatever, and go live and talk for 30 to 60 seconds about that topic. Like it came up with 30 prompts for me. And I'm not kidding you, probably 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Had I tried to sit down and write out 30 prompts on my own, it probably would have taken me 10 to 15 minutes.
Right.
So it easily saved me tons of time. And I got into action almost immediately because then I went right on and went, ooh, I like that one. Woo-hoo. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, then that's part of what I keep talking about is this creative workflow, right? So to be able to have enhanced quality content and creative content, especially, is that you just have to have this, good workflow because it keeps your creativity moving. And when you go from one application to another application, so I go to, let's say, ChatGPT, I might get some options there, but then I have to take them to a word processor to kind of start to build out on them. And then I have to go find an image for it. And I might spend hours looking for an image in stock photos that I'll end up settling on that I just because I'm tired of looking. It's not my favorite. Or I'll go and have to go and have, an AI project do it, which I have to learn a prompt to go and get my images. By the time I'm done with all of that, number one, I've got 4 different subscriptions going and I'm exhausted. Then I finally have to take it to a final place to put it all together. And then I have to go take it to wherever my distribution is. It's very choppy, very time consuming. And with RUBI, once you get in here, you stay here and it will take you from point A to point B. And that's kind of where we're headed. And what we have with our virtual studio with coming out right now, which has opened up all the multimedia. So the ability to do imagery is there now. And what we do is we bring in all the best AI image engines in the world and bring them into one place. You want to use DALL-E 3? Great. You want to use Midjourney? Great. You want to use Stable Diffusion? Great. You don't have to go and have subscriptions for each one. You just have to come in and just choose which one you want. Or use the same prompt to get, 3 different images, and you'll see which ones are going to work best for you. And then you do the same thing with our audio lab that's coming out next week. And that's going to have voice cloning, the ability to do your own voiceovers. We have over 1,000 audio voices that you can choose from. So if you don't want to use yours, you can do it. But I can just tell you, doing podcasts, it would be awesome to be able to do all your openers and all that kind of stuff right inside of RUBI. And then you can take them right to wherever channel you're going to be taking them out to. Take them out to your podcast, take them out to whatever. And then there's a couple more. There's RUBI Music. You'll be able to create your own copyright-free music right inside of RUBI. And of course, we don't want you to have to go outside. So we have a mixer that's there. You're going to have a way to do editing, right inside there. To put in your music bed that you created, put in your voiceover that you created, put in your images that you want, put in some video. I know that, we're looking at the video side with Sora. I mean, as soon as that comes available so we can use it, you'll be able to create images inside and video inside. And it's going to be insane what's going to happen when all of that gets to place. And then probably the last one is that I'm really excited about, that I think people are going to be able to really expand their business on, is our dubbing capabilities, where you can take any video or audio source that's in one language, and within seconds, it's now going to be in other languages, and you can take it right to market. So when you're wanting to do, expanding out to international marketplaces, you got to be able to do that quickly and efficiently. And for just a few seconds, you can have, whatever you want. And we have in so many different languages. It's like we put it, I think we're doing 9 different languages right now, and we're just, beginning. But it's very quick.
That is fantastic. And so many different things came up for me. I want to go in all the different directions with you at the same time. Okay, let's start with the image piece, because that's something I haven't played with yet, the image creation. And I will tell you, I'm somebody who used to spend a lot of time on another royalty-free stock image site, searching and searching and searching for the perfect image to go with whatever concept I was trying to put together, either for social media or in one of my PowerPoints that I use for my trainings and webinars and et cetera.
Yeah.
Let's go down that image thing, because we all know in social media, images and video are king.
It's everything. It's everything.
With this image creation piece, how does this work? Tell me more.
Yeah. So there really are 3 major image engines out there today that are quality, right? That I think are a way to go out into the marketplace. Midjourney if you're wanting to do unbelievable photorealistic stuff, it's insane. Like it'll make you a person, you don't need models for a lot of stuff anymore. You literally can go find the perfect image by just putting in a small prompt.
Okay.
I want a little boy running on a beach with blue water behind him and blue sky. And I just got my, AI character. I can use it anywhere in the world. And, that boy doesn't exist anywhere, but you have this image now that you can go and use, and you can describe it exactly, how you want to. Then we have DALL-E 3, which is now really pushing the envelopes of being able to do things very quickly. And so it's, put in a small prompt. It's going to give you an image. And then Stable Diffusion is the other one that's big. And so what we do is we say, they all have strengths. They all have weaknesses. Some people love one more than the other, but we'll just bring them into one place where you don't have to go and find out how to do it or have 3 different, subscriptions. Again, keeping the workflow in one place, make the best image for you and what you're looking for right there. And then you push it into your social media platforms or put it with your content that you're creating with Ruby. So that's the first step. Then we have inside of our image lab, not just the creation, but other things that you can do with it. And so I think one of them is really cool called Describe. So I, like you, have been in the ad agency world since 1995. So stock images have always been a major thing. And we always have paid a lot of money, through Getty or Adobe or whatever to go find these great images that we have licensing rights to. And it's not uncommon for us. We're putting on billboards, to pay, $1,500 for a license use on that. And it's only good for a year. And so for this, you can actually go find that perfect image that you think is great. That would be the right one that you finally found. Just drag it in from the preview, and then it will go create 4 prompts for you that will create an image very similar to that. That's copyright free, and you can use to go out. And so that's built in as a great thing. And then I think the other one that we just released this week was Face Swap, which is pretty fun. And it's great. It's like I just was curious to see how everybody would use it, because a lot of people just think of it as like a meme thing, but people are using it in marketing because they won't go and put their face out there because they didn't like the way that their body was, or they didn't like the way things were set up in their backgrounds. And now they can go and they can be anywhere. They can talk about anything they want. But I'll tell you, for MLM, one of my favorite things to talk about are vision boards. And how great is a vision board when you put your face on where you want to be and take a look at that every single day. And so I think we have so much in that one little thing that can change people's worlds. I'm excited about putting that as a template and pushing it out into the industry.
Okay, I really wish people could have seen my face when you talked about the vision board piece and putting your face in a place where you want to go. So if it's on your vision board. So my audience, the Badass Crew, they know my story when it comes to vision boards, which is I created my first vision board in January of 2014. And 1/4 of my vision board was the Eiffel Tower.
Awesome.
Like, biggest picture I could print out or find. I forget how I got it, but it filled up the entire left corner of my vision board because I wanted it that badly. My network marketing company announced that July that the incentive trip was to Paris.
There's a motivator.
Right? I was like, oh my God. And so now to be able to not just put up the Eiffel Tower, but to put a picture of you so you can literally see yourself in the place where you want to go. Paris, Hawaii, Disney World, Disneyland, like the and visualization.
Not just there, but in the style that you want to be in there. So that's the other part of it. So, for me, like I'd love to be there too, but I'd want to be like fit and feeling good about that. So now I can make my perfect, that's how I want to look when I get there. So I have not just in the, the place, but I can actually do it in the way and the style that I want to.
Oh, okay. Y'all, if you weren't sold on that, on this before that, now, hello, that right there. Like, I know what I'm doing this weekend. I'm creating a new vision board and I'm putting Jenny right in the middle of Hawaii. And
that's right.
All the other places. Jenny is for sure. So, all right. So we talked about the image piece. Oh my gosh, where were all the other places I want to go? Thank you, ADHD, for helping me lose all of those other thoughts, because this is so fantastic. There's so much going on
There's
here.
a lot. There's a lot.
Let's delve into, because you talked about having training opportunities for the community who's part of this. Tell me more about the community and the training that you put out there for the people who are part of RUBI.
Well, number one, I will just say that I've been a master distributor in 5 different companies, and I have never seen a culture like the one we're building here. Our leaders are incredible, and they're not willing to, they're willing to go and help cross-line. They don't care. It's all about pushing the whole thing going forward. And so we have an incredible Facebook group that's incredible moderators there, just pouring out everything that they find and sharing what they've done and finding the ways that to, work in a certain marketplace that they just share. And it's amazing, the culture here. And I'm very proud of that. Like, that's one of the biggest things about MLM companies that I never really liked, is that the cultures were rough. Like, people were, if you get in some companies, it's just a kind of a stand up and fight every day. And I just, don't like being in business like that. So we have really put a great culture together. And then on top of that, we also do a ton of training. So we are doing a 1-hour FlexCast every single Saturday morning. And it's about, what we do with this is number one, we are able to dive into RUBI and show you how RUBI actually can benefit you in all parts of your life, not just business, because there's everyday people need this. Like, they don't understand. They don't need it until they played with it and like, oh, I need that. Right. And so it's not just business, like you said. And so we're taking them through how to make these meal plans, how to make your personalized workout plan, how you kind of get into, like, for me, I have a 4th grader, and learning homework is my job. Like, I have to go learn new math. And so I can go to RUBI, and RUBI's like teaching me to teach them. So we have all these type of, crazy things that you can do to help your kids. If you have any kids in college down to elementary school, RUBI is the perfect 24/7 tutor. Like, I mean, you don't need a tutor anymore. You literally can sit here and ask RUBI any question. She's not going to just give you the answer. She's going to tell you why and how and the theory behind. And if you don't understand it, you just say, well, then give it to me like a 3rd grader so I can understand it. It's very simple to use. And so any of these things that you just do in everyday life, you'll run it, writing emails, writing communications to anything. It's like a social media post. I do 7 days in like 1 second. Like, I just put in what I want and choose which platform, and it's going to I'm going to choose my persona. One of the biggest things about it is our proprietary persona maker called Personify. And it goes down and it creates the personas. You don't have to have anything to do with marketing. Like, if you don't know marketing, it's totally okay. But I like it because I might go find me an influencer, let's say on Instagram, that they're targeting my perfect target audience. And they're obviously doing well because they're a major influencer. So I want to know what they're doing. So I can just put in their handle. And then we have Extract. Extract goes out and pulls all the data from their last posts, all their comments, takes all that, creates the sentiments for it, and then creates a persona so that every time you write inside of RUBI right now and you choose that persona, it's going to sound like it's for that specific market. And it's not just a tone or a voice, is where most, AIs stop. I'm an ad guy, so I take the whole thing. I want the pain points. I want the motivations. I want the beliefs and values, the demographics, the psychographics. I want all of it put in there because that's what's going to make them engage. So you want engaging content. You better be talking about the pain points and having the solution for it. And so that's kind of how we've put this whole thing together with Personify. All your content's right on point. You can make as many of those as you want. And it just makes it where if you're really wanting to do a business, there's nothing stronger than having the right audience and the right persona that you're talking to. So all that's right there. It's like, it's so good.
Yeah. I'm going to pull back the curtain now for all of you who are listening, because I went in and created a persona because I wanted to see how this whole thing works. So I went in and I was able to say, okay, I work with 6-figure network marketing leaders. They are this, this, and this. And let me tell you, the persona that they created described every one of my absolute best and favorite clients that I've worked with. And I was like, oh, how do it know? Because it down to, she's married with a couple of kids. They are older kids, maybe high school or college or she's newly an empty nester. I was like, oh,
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
it was mind blowing. I'm pretty sure my jaw literally hit the floor.
And I love that, because when we were building that product, for me, it was the answer to what most people just suffer from. Being in the ad world for so long, the number one thing I used to see when clients would come to us and begging us for help, because they've just spent so much time and so much money pushing out all this stuff, and it never resonated with a single one of their clients or their customers, because it was completely off. So it might have looked cool and it might have sounded good to somebody, but it wasn't their target. And so they wasted all the money to advertising, all the money to create all this stuff, and it was missing the mark, and there was no engagement because you weren't hitting what they needed. Yeah. And so now you don't do that. You can find products, if you're in a nutritional company, you can find exactly the market that you're going to be able to grow. And you can go in and talk about their pain points when you're pushing your ads out there. So your imagery is going to be hitting them. Everything's just going to now start to engage and make them want to go, okay, now you're talking to me. Now you got my attention. What do you got? And that's really all you can ask for in your marketing. Just what you got.
Right. Exactly. And because one of the things I have talked about, if I've said it once on the show, I've said it 100 times, which is quit marketing to everybody. Because when you market to everybody, you get everybody, including the pain in the ass clients that you didn't want in the first place. Right. So when you market to your absolute ideal person, it changes your business. Like all of a sudden you are attracting people in. You're no longer having to go chase people down. They're coming to you because you are saying all the right things that they go, oh, again. How does she know? Right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so one of the other things that we did in Personify is not only do we create this amazing full-bodied, persona, I think it's always important to put a face to the persona. And so to be able to take an image that, you can go in and create an image now, just go in and describe the person that you're talking to and let it create, an image, stick that image up there, because when you look at something, when you're creating, it really does change the way that you feel when you're doing that conversation. So when you're creating content and you can see the person that you're trying to pitch, it really does make a big difference.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Seems simple,
to do that.
But it actually truly does make a big difference.
It really does. And I will say that because of the persona that I created with the content that I have been putting out recently, more of those people who look and sound exactly like the persona that showed up in RUBI are showing up and engaging in my content on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok. It's mind-blowing how well this works. I am absolutely fascinated by it. And I feel like I could talk to you forever. So we might just have to have you come back to talk more about this, especially as new things come out. Because the other thing that was blowing my mind, it just returned to me. And we'll talk more about this. It is on the podcaster side, right? All of that royalty-free music that is now individually created for you and your show to have a song that no one else is going to have. Holy shnikes. Like on the podcaster side, I'm just sitting here going, oh my gosh, from start to finish, somebody could completely put together a podcast with their own music, with their own images, with their own intro
Opening
and outro,
exactly.
a voiceover artist who they didn't have to go pay because you're already paying for RUBI.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it when we go and show we have a little minute 58 video that we put together to kind of roll out with RUBI VS, and it's 100% done with our products. So, our images were all created inside of RUBI VS. The script was written with RUBI. The voiceover was done from, our audio lab. Our music was created in the audio lab, and then we edited it all with our editor. So everything in that whole piece was done, and you can go out and look at it. And then, of course, we put it into 9 different languages as well in our dubbing. It's insane.
That it's jaw-droppingly awesome. And
it's amazing, by the way.
Right.
It's a great video.
Okay. Please make sure you send it to me so I can link it specifically down in the show notes below, because we are starting to run out of time. But that, again, you just brought up the 9 language dubbing. I want to point out for anybody who just kind of maybe glossed over that piece. If you're somebody whose company is in a variety of different countries and you have the ability to get customers and team members in those countries, this is brilliant because now you can begin to market using Ruby in a language that is not your first language and be able to work to attract in a customer in another country. So what are some of the language you said you have 9? What are some of the languages you have?
Yeah, well, we're actually doing 9 because, we do every piece of our material into that. So our bandwidth right now is 9, but we have over 74 languages that you can transfer it into. So it's endless where you can go at this point.
Oh, wow.
But what's amazing about it is that you don't have to wait. Like if you're, in a network marketing company and your company is international, and they don't have it in, let's say, Swahili, and you can go do that. Like within seconds, you can actually go into that marketplace now and start building. You don't have to wait for the company to do it. You literally can go do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had coaching clients who their company was going into, let's say, a country like Japan, and they were, they were literally having to go through cultural training if they wanted to, like. There were rules that the country of Japan had around that. So to be able to not only go through the cultural training, but then be able to create content that now allows you to market in that new arena. And I, as one of my previous guests on the show, his name is Petri, and he's with a company called Zenzino. His goal is to make sure that he's got team members in every single one of the time zones where there are humans so that he's getting paid 24/7. I was like, dude. So now I'm gonna be reaching out to Patrick going, hey, Patrick.
Yeah, I got something that's going to make it work for you, bro. That's amazing.
I got something for you. Have you tried this? Because I think that's a brilliant way to do business and be able to, because before this, how would somebody have been able to create that content? They would have had to hire in a translator. They would have had to hire a videographer. They would have had to hire somebody to do the copywriting and have it be culturally sensitive. And now it's all there.
It's all done. Yeah. And it's just in, you think about corporate videos, think about all the reels that you want to make, think about all the stuff that you can do in social media in just seconds, instead of, and I know a lot of people use Canva and that's great, but it's not the best that you can do. So, if you can come in and like really personalize it, get the best stuff going on, and you do it in the same amount of time, you're going to have so much better quality content ready to go out. And in your creative workflow never breaks. It's going to be awesome.
I love that. All right. So, Badass Crew, if you're interested in this, you want to check this out, we do have a link for you to check out Ruby. It's right down in the show notes. Now, you guys know how to get there, but let's say, for example, or let's say that maybe this is your first time ever listening to the podcast and you have no idea how to get to the show notes. Just grab your phone, as long as you're not driving. Click on today's episode, scroll down underneath our wonderful, beautiful RUBI AI picture that we're going to have there, and you'll see the show notes and you'll see the link where you can go check out RUBI AI, get some videos, check things out. And we're also going to link directly to that minute 58 video that Robert talked about as well. So you can see what they did with everything in Ruby so that you can see, ooh, I could do that too. I would love to be able to share that with you all. So, and Robert, if people want to reach out to you, how would you like them to connect with you?
Oh, probably the best way to do it is in Facebook. And so just hit me in a DM on Messenger or something. And I'm always on there. So that's a good way to get in touch with me.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we will also link Robert's Facebook direct link so you know how to find the right one, because there's more than one, surprisingly, but I found the right guy. So we'll make sure we have that link there as well. So if you want to connect directly with Robert, ask him any questions, because if you're going to ask questions, you may as well connect in with the CEO, right? Why not? So Robert, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here and share about Ruby. I really appreciate you.
Oh man, this is a lot of fun. I hope we do it again. We can put some new stuff out there for you.
Oh yeah, just let me know as soon as the next thing is coming out, and we're going to put it out and announce it right here on Badass Direct Sales Mastery, because why wouldn't we? All right, Badass Crew, you know how this goes. Stay tuned because there is another badass episode on its way.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.